I played 100 hours of CDL Search and Destroy and won $100 from CDL Search and Destroy wagers. Here's what happened. I'm not the best Call of Duty player. What I need to improve on is my strategy, my gun skill, my confidence, and my clutch factor. And my goal for this video is to show you how I improved from hour 1 to hour 100. And at hour 20, I'm working on strategy. I have a habit, especially in Search and Destroy, of finding 1 or 2 good rush routes and sticking pretty close to those. The problem with that is it'll work for maybe 1 or 2 rounds, but if your opponents are smart, they'll start picking up on where you go and countering your play. How I improved on this in my first 20 hours was by watching VOD of Search and Destroy players much better than me, my favorite being S and Dylan, or even VODs from pro matches, to pick up on rush routes and strats. And what really forced me to implement those new routes was playing against the same teams multiple maps in a row. For us, that was money 8s, where my group of friends put money on Search and Destroy games and randomized the teams. This forced me to adapt because I knew that the people I was playing against knew my typical rush routes, and if I wanted to compete and keep on getting kills, I needed to change it up. And before 20 more hours pass by, let's talk about a way for you to put money on all sorts of games, 1v1 me. They sponsored this video, so shout out to 1v1 me. You can stake, responsibly of course, on plenty of video game competitions and even play wager matches of your own. My link is in the description. You must be 18 to play, and like we've said before, you can play for money. You can stake on other matches, and if you do play, your matches get streamed directly to the homepage of the app. Use code LunchTime or the link in the description when you're signing up. Again, stake responsibly. And on hour 40, we worked on gun skill. My gun skill is what needed the most attention. This is something I've always felt like has been my weakest point, and why my playstyle is more flank and off angles and less challenging head on. Later on in this video, we're going to talk about confidence, and that ties into working on gun skill. One tip that helped me, especially when my shot is shaky, is to play against private match bots with aim assist off for a few minutes, then throw it back on. Think a baseball player warming up with a weighted bat. In my settings, I've also turned my left stick max down to 70, and I've recently fully realized the importance of fast strafing while in long range gunfights. What a left stick max of 70 does in game is it makes it so that when you're moving your stick to the left or to the right, you reach that maximum speed of strafing even faster instead of going through the entire range of 1 to 99. Think of this as the difference between controller and keyboard and mouse. When you're playing on keyboard and mouse, you only have the left strafe button and the right strafe button, which both immediately go to 100 speed. Basically, what changing the left stick max does is get you closer to that full speed that you would have if you had only 2 buttons. In the firing range, what this looks like, I have the settings up to 3 plates so that I'll have a longer gunfight right here. If I stand perfectly still, don't even touch my left stick, and I try to control the recoil, it's a little bit harder as it goes left and right, and it takes me almost the entire magazine to kill that middle bot. This time incorporating, like I said, with the fast left and the fast right strafing, it's so much easier to take out that bot that I have 11 bullets to spare, and I was missing a lot less. Even at closer gunfights and even at further gunfights, anything that you can do with rotational aim assist, being the left stick moving, will help you keep the gun shooting as straight as possible, even at range. In hour 60, I worked on my confidence. Worrying about my gun skill did not help with my confidence in Call of Duty, but for the next 20 hours, I focused on improving that by tying in the previous points of strategy and gun skill, because confidence will entirely make or break you in a game as fast as Call of Duty. I realize you have to be sure in your play and positioning, mechanics, and aim if you want to succeed. For me, this means fully committing to the play call for myself or my teammates. Plenty of times I'd catch myself halfway challing gunfights or frantically turning to watch lanes when all that did was get me killed. Now, I saw in the news the other day that hypochondriacs are way more likely to die early, which applies to Call of Duty in that if you spend your entire game worried about dying, it's going to get you killed. I learned to stay confident in my decisions, to hold an angle, to push, or to chow, and even when I'm wrong or make a bad play, I brush it off and remain equally as confident in my next decision. So far, I think it's paying off, and tying in perfectly is hour 80, my clutch factor. You cannot clutch on accident, and you cannot clutch without confidence. How I worked on improving my clutch factor is by randomizing my positioning when first left in the clutch situation. Not even Shotzzy can win a 1v3 when all 3 players are looking directly at him, so your priority is to find 1 or 2 free kills, whether it's someone overextending or somebody planting or defusing the bomb. Find the free kill before doing too much else. If you can afford to reposition, you should, but not all clutch situations are the same. And after you find that first kill, the objective is your next priority. If that's planting, work towards that bomb site. If it's defusing, check the obvious corners that they could be using to check the defuse. Also, if you get yourself down to a 1v1, Don't be afraid to hop the bomb. Nobody wants to be the last guy clutched on, so the majority of the time they're going to hide and check at the last second. Use this to your advantage with a ninja defuse. And finally, at hour 100 is one of the better games of Search and Destroy that I've had in a long time. For strategy in this game, what works really well for me is rushing up the ramp and then checking reception. We're playing in a 3v3 right now, so I'm able to give the information to my teammates that I saw at least one pushing up pretty fast towards that reception. If you look on the mini map right here, one of my teammates is watching the long haul cross to let me know how many crossed to my elbow, while my other teammate is staying top third looking at book or maybe a little bit of the B flank. We get pretty concrete information with those two red dots that their intent is to push A. So I reposition myself in the plane at an off angle and remain confident in my close range chow despite the fact that I have an AR, just because I know that's what works best for me. When one chows like that, typically another one was following behind. They're trapped there because my teammate has long haul and my other teammate probably has lower plane, so they're unable to go down those stairs. I know that their goal is to push into the plane, even if that takes them out. So I send a stun nade into the elbow. Luckily, I catch one because the stun goes first. I reach out for the second one in case it gets him weak, and then we triangulate the last guy. I'm sliding out in case he decides to go down the stairs, and we all find that last player. Now for my gun skill, I'm left in a 1 versus 2 right here on defense. This also factors into a clutch, but 1v2 is definitely not as clutch as, say, a 1v3 or a 1v4. I know that their intent is to plant B, and I wouldn't focus on getting a free kill right now. I need to challenge something head on, so this is why I'm sitting at this angle, waiting for somebody to either go way back to P1 or to go down the Eskies, or like this guy is here in this corner. So all that I do is challenge this guy head on. Kind of a riskier gunfight to take if it weren't in a 1v2, but when it comes to the clutch situation, that's what I have to do. And we're going to go ahead and tie this into clutching as well. As I said, if you get into a 1v1, a lot of times if you hop the bomb, you'll get lucky because they're afraid to check it, and just like that, the round is secured. This round is a great example of confidence in my playstyle, or even maintaining confidence after I make a bad play. So you see on that first kill, I'm feeling great. We're up 5-3, I'm on top of the world, and I make a mistake of overextending and going for that second kill. It doesn't work out for me. As you see, he's holding dreams. I get him one shot, I almost get the kill. But I trusted in my instinct, as wrong as it was, to challenge the gunfight. It didn't work out for the team. We end up losing this round, but the important thing is that I don't fold after making a mistake. I keep on pushing through, and I'll show y'all what happens at the end. For the last point that we talked about, which is the clutch factor, we made this all the way to round 11. We should have closed it out earlier, but like I said, you have to stay confident even if you're making the wrong decisions. Teammate gets bombed down, and I play this off angle on the bush. I tell him to stay up, and unfortunately he does not. But I know that this is a spot that nobody is going to check. A lot of people don't even know that you can still get here after they patch that top hop right here. Left in a 1v3, 30 seconds on the defuse. When that guy slides out to bomb, I know that he doesn't know that I'm there. So I kill him, I spot the guy up top third, challenge him, and then I full send it for the last guy. Absolutely slam him, by the way. And then clutch out the 1v3 to make it round 11. Of course, I stand up and walk away from my chair, because what else are you supposed to do? But this map was a great example of all those factors coming together. We closed it out for the 6-5 victory. Don't get me wrong, I have a long way to go in terms of my COD skill, but I'm happy to try to improve hour by hour. I hope you all enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did for the algorithm, of course, and I will catch you next time at lunchtime.